So since we're kind of like on the political topic, do y'all want to talk about Kanye? Did any of you guys watch his campaign rally in South Carolina?
I ain't watch it, but I seen the hot takes out of it.
Right.
I did. I think it was well. I watched there was an hour video posted on YouTube. I'm not sure if that was the whole thing or not, but I
What?
looked at it. It was a mess.
He
It
probably
was a
was out
mess.
there freestyling.
Um, at one point he started crying.
Hmm.
Uh, when he was talking about women and women's rights, and he brought up abortion and a woman's right to choose. And he was talking about his dad didn't want him, and he started crying. He was too busy, and he was saying how
Yeah.
he almost killed his daughter. And I was like, that went left real quick, and he's crying. And
Almost killed his daughter, meaning he
About
wanted
the
him to get
abortion.
an abortion.
that's how I took it, since that's the topic he was talking about.
That's what I.
Mhm. Well, I was confused of why that made people why that went and left. Why did not sit well with people?
They just were saying he's doing too much.
Um, I don't necessarily. I felt like it went left because of the crying, not necessarily the subject. Although, if I was Kim, I would be like, "Dude, did you have to say all that? Like, come on."
This felt like the day after got juicier. Though.
Um,
Hmm.
but I think the crying maybe kind of like took me over the top. Like, dude, like when we're looking for a leader, we're looking to somebody to be composed and able to handle their emotions. And if you're actually wanting people to take you seriously as a candidate for presidency, this ain't it, sir.
Right. What I seen was um uh, a chemical imbalance on display for us to see and
Hmm.
recognize
I like
um,
what you said.
what people like him go through.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And he is on a platform where we're able to see it
Hmm.
unfold.
Yeah, I like when you said you needed his meds adjusted. Um, that too, and like I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast, and Rory said, I think everything that people saying is true. It's like I think what he says isn't like he's not just over the top like saying anything. I think he's actually saying what he wants to say, but
Hmm.
it's not
It
coming out
doesn't
the way he wants it to come out.
mm, because he has there's always some base to what he was saying. Just like
Hmm.
when about the abortion, that's why I asked you that because I felt like he got emotional because he's so in love with his daughter. But if the man
Hmm.
Hmm.
comes to you and tell you to get rid of it, then that's what it is. I don't think that is something necessarily bad to say. To get rid of only to the people who don't believe in abortions or whatever. But
Hmm.
it's a choice that we have that's out there that people can utilize. So I don't judge either way.
I
Like you
think
know what
he
I'm
was
saying?
saying.
Because
Hmm.
I think he was saying more though. He don't believe in abortion because he was saying something about trying to give mothers $1 million for keeping their baby or something like that. $1 million.
yeah, but but that's what I'm saying. Like you know what I mean? Like everybody can't be moms. Just because you can bear a child doesn't mean that you're going to be a great mother.
Hmm.
And you in this world, like everybody's circumstances is different, and of course we should protect ourselves to prevent even getting pregnant. But if it comes to a choice where though you have you have an option to not carry out this pregnancy because you feel like that's what's best for you in your life right now moving forward, um, then I feel like that's a good choice for you to have and to think
I'm not.
about.
I don't really. I'm not going to take a stance on this. I think I agree with what most people say. It's the woman's right to choose, but the
Hmm.
but the baby should be a certain like it shouldn't be after a certain amount of time. That start. You know what I mean? Now what
Right.
is it? Two
Hmm.
term or something like that? I can't vouch for somebody who waits too long. Like at that
I
point,
understand that.
you might want to try other avenues. Like our adoption and our foster agencies, they should have better support from the government to make it a better system. Um, you shouldn't be, if you know that you can't be a mom, you shouldn't be stuck with the decision of, I gotta abort this baby because I'm not going to be able to take care of it. Us
Mhm.
as a society should be able to make it. There's different avenues to be able to do, like make sure your kid will be safe in foster
Mhm.
care and adoptions. You know what I mean?
But also one other thing I wanted to point out as far as the time frame, um, people who are in positions where they feel like they can't take care of a kid, specifically for from the financial standpoint, it could be a situation where the clock is ticking and I ain't got the money. Like the procedures like that, they're not
They get more
free. They're
expensive
not free, and they get
as
more
Mhm.
expensive the more time passes. So
mhm.
Mhm.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like that's one of the. Well, I'm a guy, so I'll try not to even go on that topic. I just kind of leave it up to
Mhm.
the women's
Mhm.
choice to choose because it's their
That's a
body.
great answer.
Yeah, because I feel like it's the women's choice to
Yeah,
choose. You know what I mean? But
mhm,
it
there's because
is.
there's things that happen during like you could have really he could have forced himself on you and now you're pregnant. You know what I mean? So there's a
mhm,
lot of ways that you can get pregnant that you might not be okay with.
It could be
mhm.
it could be a result of some type of molestation that was going on, some type of incest that was going on. There's so much shit that goes on that we don't, you know what I'm
Take into
saying?
consideration,
Or
you can't just claim
yeah,
everybody look at the situation as it being 1 + 1 = 2, but there's still
Right.
right.
so many variables in it,
Because I
which I'll
know
stay away from.
I know somebody who actually told me that they got a vasectomy and their wife got pregnant.
Yeah,
And like it was like a crazy situation where he was questioning her, like, is that baby even mine? Like, it's crazy.
yep. I
Yes,
had
so
somebody.
was it?
Hmm.
I had the same thing happen the other way around with the lady who got her tubes tied, but she ended up getting pregnant. Yeah,
I mean, because it's a possibility. I guess when you get those procedures, especially I don't know about the vasectomy, but I know when you get your tubes tied, they'll say that there's a percentage that it
she
could
was dead.
possibly still happen. But I didn't know that with a vasectomy that it's still a possibility that one because it only take one of them little fuckers to get through. So maybe,
I look at doc-
maybe.
I look at doctors like mechanics anyway. Like they might say they did the procedure good, but hey, they might
No,
not
they're
have.
just practicing.
Yeah, they're
They're
practicing.
just
Like
practicing. It's a procedure that as in time they do over and over again. You hope and you pray that they are getting better and they are perfecting their crafts.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, anything can happen when you go in there. You don't know what type of day that surgeon has had or is having in that moment. You don't know if he's fighting his own demons. He could be an alcoholic undercover. We don't know. And his hand is not steady in that surgery room. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there could be all types of shit. So, yeah. I
yeah,
Yeah.
always like, you trust them and you put your trust and your faith in them, but in the back of your mind, you know what I mean? You
you
pray
gotta
that they're doing the best
Hmm.
thing, you know.
you gotta.
Uh,
Key word is practicing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even when it
Yes.
comes to the whole abortion thing, like I think God gives us free will and He gives us our
Mhm.
right to choose. So I don't think it's the government's.
Choice.
I don't feel like the
Right.
government has the right to take away anybody's choice.
Government
Right.
always got.
Everybody should be able to
Um,
choose whatever
To
it is that
choose. To
right, and then
choose.
and
Have a
you
choice.
right, and then you got to stand before God and be accountable for the choices that you make.
At,
but
at the end of the day.
the people on the other side of that coin is saying, how are you choosing for that baby? How are you making that choice for that baby?
Yeah, but up until a certain stage it's only a fetus. So it's not fully a fully developed being.
That's like most states are aboard with like what we're saying as far as you got to do it within a certain time frame. But a lot of times they put a lot of the it feels like a lot of those Confederate states are the ones that like had issues with like trying to give women the right to choose.
Yeah, but at the same time, you'll say, okay, abortion should be illegal, but then once the baby's here, you leave people high and dry, and then you want to call them
Yeah,
welfare queens.
And that's the problem
Right.
I had. There
So
should be a better
In the
system.
system and all of that.
There should be a better system.
So
I wouldn't be opposed to what Kanye saying, not $1 million, but I wouldn't be opposed to whenever you do your taxes and there's a new social security number on your taxes that you do get a certain amount of money to becoming a new mom. Like to try to help
mhm,
you out. Like I,
mhm.
I, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
but isn't that what
So
the child tax credit is?
What is that? How much is that? Like 20? Is that even 2,500? Or how much is that? $500? I don't know. I don't play kids with my
It's
taxes.
more than that.
But it ain't that much enough to feed your kid throughout or take care of your kid throughout the year.
you're
No.
correct. You're
Mm-mm.
correct.
No, it's not.
You're correct.
Um,
So overall, do you think Kanye picked up some supporters for during his rally, or it was just all bad?
Wait, let
Oh
me let
man,
me make one more point. That whole $1 million thing, you just brought something to my attention. That whole we should give mothers $1 million. I think that that kind of might have been a statement that shows how out of touch he is with the average American. Also,
definitely.
so like I don't know. Even if I want to entertain the idea of you being president, you have to make yourself be relatable, Kanye. And
But
right
you know
there,
what you just said. When Dave Dash went to go visit him this week, he said almost exactly what you said. He said Kanye's not crazy. He's not going through anything. He's just talking billionaire talk, which we don't understand. And that might
hmm
be true because when you do hear billionaires talk, they seem so out of touch, like
hmm
with the regular society. So that might be true. Did you hear one of them owners from the football, one of the football owners or somebody else talk? You like, man, they're crazy, but
hmm
really they might not have been around regular humans for a long time.
we're living two different realities. That's all.
Yes, absolutely.
But all that
Um,
stuff he came out about is I think the next day hurt him more than anything when he started going on the rants about
Well, hold
Kim
on.
and Chris.
Let's back up because there's another thing. So, what do y'all think about during that rally him saying that Harriet Tubman did not free the slaves; she only took them to work for other white people.
Well, let's see what he was trying to. And again, I'm not going to interpret what he's trying to say, but what he's saying does have some type of validity to it. He just said it in a nuts way. Like you gotta be able to, if you're going to talk about things like that, you got to say it in a way. So you better give this woman her credit.
Mm-hmm.
She brought a lot of people out of the situations they was in. So even
Mm-hmm.
though they wasn't free, they still wasn't slaves getting beat anymore. So there's a difference.
She probably is the most
Well,
famous, well-known abolitionist that we know of.
yeah. So
right.
for
So for him to come at her, man,
but
And
the
I
way
don't
he
think
came
that
out,
he necessarily came at
I
her. I
don't
just
either.
I agree with what Tavi said. What he said, it had some base to it because it's a fact that she did free them, and they still came and worked for white people.
It was a
Like they were free, but they were still working for white people. Like you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that people are so they we're in a fragile state as black people. We're in a
mm-hmm,
fragile state, so we are um very easily uh triggered by certain
yeah,
mm-hmm,
shit.
right.
Like you know what I'm saying? So then we hold on to some shit, like you know what I'm saying? And we take that. Like you know what I mean? I just think that you have to take what he says with a grain of salt, and I'll continue to say that
yeah.
because no, he's mental. Like it's that's a fact. Like you know what I mean. So
Now
I
what I
don't think
will
he came
say
at Harriet Tubman.
Now, what I will say, as far as what he said about Harriet Tubman, and even like a year ago when he was talking about how black people chose to be slaves, those
Mm-hmm.
both statements sound terrible. But I feel like his underlying meaning is we need to start being more independent and build up our own Black Wall Street again. And I think he needs to talk more about that than trying to let us know
And
that
Mm-hmm.
the white people are
elaborate.
still
Like you know what I
controlling.
mean?
Yeah, because all he's
Yes,
really
Yeah.
trying to say is the white
yes.
people still controlling us.
And if he had people in his corner other than the Kardashians, and then maybe he could like after he goes on these ramps, he needs somebody to have him explain himself more or elaborate more on what he's saying, or you know what I'm saying, if that's how he really feels or whatever. But
But
Yeah,
when
but I
you,
think even that statement that he made while he was at TMZ, like I understood what he was trying to say, but I feel like for him to just make a statement like that so cavalierly was just really irresponsible, considering the fact that these people were enslaved. Our ancestors were enslaved, so you people like even with the Harriet Tubman, she was talking about she freed X amount of slaves. She could have freed more if they would have knew they were slaves. Um, there's an enslavement two ways where you're physically held in bondage, but then you're mentally held in bondage as well. So it can be a lot on a person to contemplate running away from this, to where I'm taking myself. If I have children, I'm trying to take them. I have to understand that some of the repercussions of that is one of us or maybe all of us not making it out of this alive. Or if I do make it out alive, if I get captured, I might get my foot cut off. I might get whipped to the point where like I'm passing out, or there's just a lot that comes with that. So let's you can't just say let's band together and uprise and work together and get out of this. But the mental bondage there and the things that come with that is not something that you could take lightly. So
I,
could you blame somebody for not making a choice to run?
I don't know, a lot of. I think it's human nature for a lot of people to play it safe too. Like
Mm.
in
mm,
everyday life, it's hard for
mm,
somebody to jump off the porch. So if you know that if you know something's guaranteed, it's hard for you to risk not um, while changing it. So I will never say that slavery was a choice, but I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that with a lot of black people to try to say they end up on the wrong side of that conversation is that we need to snap out of that
mm,
mentality and
mm,
build our own things and don't
Mm-hmm.
let the white people control and
mm.
predict
Mm-hmm.
our future for us. And that's all it is.
We needed more people to elaborate on what was really what we really needed to take from these statements and shit that Kanye's making. Like, you
But
know what
like
I'm saying?
Jessica
So,
said, you can't start off like with those cavalier statements because from that
mhm.
point on, you're not. I'm not going to listen to what you got to say. Like, and
Well,
Mm-hmm.
then
that's why
and then it's
I always
dangerous. It's dangerous saying that because if you just take those excerpts of what he's saying and just
a lot of people do. A lot of people
yeah,
do. Like, they hate him. Like, you know what I'm saying? They hate him. But at the end of the day, like, he's an entertainer. He's an entertainer. Like, if he wasn't producing or rapping, would we know Kanye, or would he just be an activist out there on the street corner in his neighborhood spitting that shit or whatever? Like, you know what I'm saying? So you got to take
Mm-hmm.
all of those things into, you know what I'm saying? He's not very good in articulating what he needs to say out there, and he's still he's
I think I
I feel
think
like
Trump
he's severely mentally unstable
I
too.
think Trump did him a disservice by going on his rants too. I feel like he thinks he could just freestyle his speeches and stuff because he see Trump
Mm,
being able
Mm-hmm.
to say crazy rhetoric and spills at his rally, and he's probably like, I'm just gonna say what I feel. Like I'm gonna go out here and say what I feel, and if they feeling me, they feeling me, and that's
And
what he
he
did.
he's not the only one though, because Trump being president has emboldened a lot of people to
Yes,
just
yes,
say
because
whatever.
I ain't gonna
yes,
lie, he don't
yes.
sound any different than how Trump was sounding at his rallies when he first started talking about
Talk about it.
telling the security guards to beat up people if they start acting up and stuff like that. Like when Trump was going on his presidential run, he was saying a lot of crazy stuff.
And
Mm-hmm.
still is.
He
And
still is.
still is. And Trump just did an interview, and the person doing the interview asked him, do he ever wake up the next morning and be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have tweeted that, or maybe I shouldn't have said that like that?
He said
And this
no.
guy actually, no, he said yes, but it's too late. I already did it.
That
Like,
sounds
it's
like some.
already done.
But you know
Because
what?
he's
That
talking about when he goes on the Twitter rants or whatever. He said he do wake up and think about it, but it's already done. So the hell with it, basically. Like, it's already out
Mm-hmm.
there. So
Mm-hmm.
sounded like an old New Yorker.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, okay. Because when the reporter asked him that, and he said, yeah, I do think about it. I was like, oh shit, like he thinks, but then it was like, yeah, but it's already out there. It's already too late. So he said that's the bad thing about Twitter. He said that's the bad thing about Twitter. Once you put it out there, it's out there. You can't take it back. Duh.
That boy's crazy, man.
Ah,
But
but
yeah,
people was pissed off about Kanye West's rant and run for president, and we got a knucklehead in there, as the old school uncles would call him, a knucklehead.
I think the only and then like to answer your question, Kenya, I just feel like Kanye missed a big opportunity because he would have had people in his corner if he would have had a sound message.
I agree. I agree.
But also, we're talking about this as if you guys really think that this is a serious presidential run. Do you?
Well, now I
No,
don't think so. I think
Okay.
he dirt his whole chances.
Hmm.
no, I don't think I never did. I mean, but I would entertain the conversation and stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, I told them I think if it did happen and he did go, I'm gonna vote for him on Get Up just because I don't know who he'll be in there with. If it's somebody in there, you know what I mean, that we definitely would not want to be in there, you got to exercise your vote.
This nigga
So
tried to make the Louis Vuitton
I mean,
president
we. I
his
mean,
code.
I'm not shocked or I'm not holding my breath because the president that's in there now has done and said things that I never thought I would hear or see in my lifetime. And I haven't been around for a long time, but I've been around enough to see
I'm
a
gonna tell
few
you what did
presidents.
it. I'm gonna tell you what did it. Is when you say a line like grab him by the pussy and you still
Hmm.
get nominated for president.
Hmm.
That shattered
Hmm.
any type of expectations I had for being president at all. Like
Yes.
whoever wanted to run, go to run. I'm not
Oh
mad
man,
at
there
it.
were several. There was that. There was making fun of the disabled reporter.
Oh, that was
There
terrible. I
was.
Yes, I
forgot.
forgot about that.
That
Uh,
was
That
he,
that was crazy.
that was real
Yes.
crazy. Even
that
the
Yes.
way he tried to dismiss Stormy Jones was crazy.
that, and then him talking about John McCain and how he likes people who've not been
Uh,
captured.
he
This
I
is our
mean,
president, and I
this is
cannot
our
believe
president.
y'all
I
elected
could
somebody who would
not.
say things like that.
Look, how you gonna say that about John McCain, but then get mad at Colin Kaepernick for taking the knee?
Mhm.
I
I
could
lost
not.
all hope and faith whenever he got elected for the simple fact is that that man did not have not 1 inch or 1 ounce of a political background, and he was able to win the presidency on the numbers of the people behind him and in the money.
I ain't mad at that though, because we do need to change. It's just we
I
let the wrong
mean,
person do
Not
it.
that one.
but
I would have wanted
But I
somebody
feel
like
like
Michelle
you
Obama to
do
do it.
you have to you should have to have a political background or something
I would have wanted somebody like
because
Michelle
there you
Obama to
are
do it.
you are in control of everybody's livelihood. Like you have like I don't know.
I don't know. I
I
just feel
don't
like
know.
once you start doing the political stuff, there's always somebody in the back being you're being a puppeteer.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Whoever worked on your, whoever
It's
put
in
the
there.
money up for your
Congress.
campaign, yeah, whoever put the money up for your campaign and you win, you gonna have to give them what they want.
But isn't the past 4 years showing us that that may not necessarily be true because so many people have quit under his presidency. Like it's like
But we
more
talking
than we've
about.
ever seen.
That's what I'm
So
saying. I don't feel like that's a bad structure. I just feel like it's a bad person who filled that void. Like if it was somebody like Michelle Obama or somebody who has common sense, I wouldn't be mad at him right now. I wouldn't be mad at him. It's just I didn't want Hillary. I didn't want I don't want Biden. I don't want Trump. I don't want the same because nothing's gonna get done. I don't think nothing's gonna get done. But see, I think the problem is what is it? The Senate you're allowed to keep your or is it a representative that's allowed to keep their seat forever?
No, don't they?
Judges.
They do have term limits, don't they? Don't they
Isn't
go
it
up
the
like every couple
Supreme
years?
judges or something? Somebody,
Yeah, it's a
some
Supreme
it's
Court.
the Supreme Court
It's the
judges
Supreme
or
Court.
something.
You
They
shouldn't
are
be
allowed
allowed
to
to
keep
have.
their
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like that. Like you shouldn't be allowed to deal with something for a lifetime
Hmm.
term now.
No, they need to do away with lifetime appointments.
Yes, yes.
But that
So
was a good topic, though. I didn't think we was gonna get that much out of the Kanye rants.
and he got me new music dropping, which we know is a trendy trend that's going on with these entertainers. Again, there is always something that is like trending right before they drop their music, right before they drop their new movie or whatever. So yeah, Kanye West got some new music coming out, and I'm eager to listen.
You know what's
Yeah,
funny though? This is like the type of stuff what that happened on Empire and stuff like that. That where I would be like, this is so stupid. This would never happen in real life. But it's crazy how life imitates art sometimes.
It's not so on that beat.